Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Let's talk a little bit of 49er football. If you stick around, you might hear one of my dad jokes. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Let's talk a little bit of 49er football. If you stick around. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Let's talk a little bit of 49er football. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Having a lot of fun today. All right. Got David coming in. Sorry, I was clicking buttons with my mouse and it got a little sticky there. Um, love the overlay, the intro, but there's only so many times you guys can stick around and hear the dad joke. So we got John coming in too, and we got Ryan. I don't know what's going on. I can't get John to come in. There it is. Okay, John was jumping out and jumping back in. It's probably something on my end. Hey, John, Ryan, and David, thank you for coming today, guys. Sunday morning, we survived. So if you guys survived and you guys got something to drink, a nice warm cup of coffee or, water bottle or something, enjoy the show. And we're going to go over a couple things. And first off, if you guys are able to tune in yesterday and hear the show, we had surprising and pleasant news. It was a guy down there at the bottom, No Border Sports birthday. He went around the world 365 days, and he came back, and he's one more year younger and older. Definitely looks a little younger, right? And
bro.
I bet he had a great day.
I got carded for cigarettes last night. Or not cigarettes, but my Zyn. And I was like, thanks, bro. It's actually my birthday. And then I was like, no, that was yesterday because it was like at 12:01 or whatever. Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. We're good.
I get mad when they don't card me on my birthday because I usually
Oh,
get
I don't
carded for
care.
everything. And when I go in and it's my birthday and they don't card me, I'm like, you didn't even read my ID. You didn't even read my ID, and I'm like, it's my birthday. And then they look at the wallet again, the ID again. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you just come on, do your job.
Well, to be fair, in my state, there's two different types of IDs. And it's vertical and sideways. And you just have to take a look at it. And if it's like this, you're 21 and over, bruh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I moved to Kentucky, and they did that for the driver's license for anybody who was like under 21. If you were 16 to I think the age of 18, or it might have been your ID was like that, and then it turned sideways. Well, moved back to California, and all IDs were sideways. But then get back to California, and now they're doing that out here too. So not every state has the same rules, and you're very correct.
I think
What I
it's
thought
handy.
was cool at Kentucky is I got my ID the same day. They literally took like 3 pictures of you. They showed you the screen. So which one do you want? You picked out your picture and they printed it right there and handed it to you. It wasn't no wait 2 weeks to get it or anything like that. It
They
was
give
like,
you an option? No,
yeah,
that's too much.
yeah, it was
That's
super
too
cool.
much.
They took 3
So
pictures.
in
You need to
Utah,
pick the worst picture and make sure that one goes on their license forever.
so in Utah, if you're under 21, the print on your driver's license or ID is red. Where it says the state and other items. But if you're over 21 or over, it's in blue. But it doesn't actually say, adult or anything like that on it. It used to though. Like my first license did. My first license, said minor. And then it said adult, but then I had to go get it, and that's when they updated everything to a bar scanning system. Like if you go to a bar, they literally scan your ID, and it's
Yep.
like, I mean, just more or less checking you in, but at the same time, there are laws about DUIs and bartenders being responsible. I honestly think that's stupid because an adult should be responsible for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when like people's systems are different. So like I might be able to go in and have, a couple more beers than somebody else and still be at the same level when they leave. You know what I mean? Like, so therefore, like, are you going to, cut me off because I've had one more than the guy who's 160 pounds down the bar from me? You know what I mean? Like, everybody on the same. So it's tough. Like I think yes, everybody should have personal responsibility about things. Like when it comes to that.
How was your day yesterday, John?
Let's see. Got to play some basketball with some of my friends. That was fun. So that's what I did. And then
Did you get a triple double?
I usually get my usual 15 plus assists because I'm a good point guard. Too bad the guys who were like the real basketball players weren't there. So we played like a bunch of dads, and they were good, but me and my friends were like we want to play like the tough guys. So, but it was fun. There was this dad who we met from Idaho. Somehow he married a woman from California. They settled in the East Bay, and they were like, "Hey, you guys are really good." I said, so we spoke to him. I got to meet a new friend. And the funny thing about it, he was also a 49ers fan. So shout out to him. And now he's part of our crew. So we'll be playing with them every Saturdays now. And, he met a new friend. And I got to know things about Idaho I didn't know. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I seen you say you're going to go to play basketball, and that's a lot of fun. It's always fun to be able to get out and run around. And sorry you had to play a bunch of dads, but hopefully the dads give you guys a little bit of run for the money,
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so we're going to get into this. David's got a new shirt. David?
Check it out. See?
Oh, look at that.
State of California, which we own. We beat all the teams in California last year, so we own California. Yep.
That's true.
And it looks snazzy. It really does. I like it when they put the states on it and stuff like that. I'm going to bring Corey in real quick. And
in the state, let's see if I can get this to do this right. In the state, there's actually you can see it, the SF symbol all over it. Yep. Yeah, I like this shirt.
I'm gonna bring Corey in real quick, and then we'll get into our topic.
Are you gonna bring Corey in real quick? What up, Corey?
We got the
Hey, how y'all doing?
The goat's in the house.
What's up, Corey?
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm cool. Just my shoulder hurting again.
Oh no.
I don't know why. It was feeling good. I guess because my family kept on hitting on it. Every time they kept on seeing me come up, they say, "Hey, Corey." Ah, I'm like, "Oh, the wrong shoulder."
You're
Why is
like
everybody-
same spot. Stop.
And why is everybody loving the left? You always usually hit the right. Now you hitting the left. Y'all must know I got pain in that shoulder.
Well, that's no fun. I hate that too. We drive Volkswagens in my family, so every time someone's around us, they want to be like, "Oh, slug bug," and we're like, well, "That's not a bug," And then they're like, "Oh, well, it's close enough." No, it's not close enough. You either hit me when it's a Volkswagen or not, and we don't play that new Beetle stuff. That it's if it ain't an old Volkswagen, air cooled, it ain't looking like Herbie. They don't count, and it doesn't count for a bus or a Carmagia. It's got to be a Beetle. All right, slug bug. So I don't like getting good. All right, so we're going to talk with John. We're going to give him the mic for a few minutes, and the show is we have two different topics. It's going to be a little bit wider in the beginning, and we're going to get a little bit funner in the end. So we're starting out with the OTAs. So it's getting hotter. It's definitely warming up out there. It's almost summertime. John, do you have any news that you would like to introduce to the panel about the OTAs? Have you heard any competition? Have you had any surprising news of events or anything that you'd like us to hear if we haven't heard about the OTA practices, competition, anything? Do they got a new ice bath?
Let's see, the biggest thing that I spoke this week on my show was the cornerback, Darrell Luter Jr., how he continues to impress everybody, all the coaches and the players. this past week, when he was on the field, he went on, I think, on the 7-on-7s against Danny Gray, and two of the passes were like he batted away. And he's been really like the guy who's been stepping up. He's been the guy who has been, showing flashes, because usually the rookies after rookie mini camp, they look really good. Then they go against the veterans and they don't look so good. Steve Wilkes and other players and even the media have been even saying good things about the kid. So that's one of the biggest things that not everybody's talking about. I know everyone wants to talk about Brock Purdy, how he's doing well with the injury, rehabbing, Trey Lance, just getting that opportunity to compete, and also talk about Sam Darnold. But that's one topic that no one is talking about, which is always good. But we'll see more and more as all the veterans show up, see how he does very well. But against some of the veterans and the rookies, he's been doing good so far.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's really something, when you got a corner that's coming in and they are competing with our fast guy, the guy who's supposed to be able to blow the top off. So that's not necessarily good for Danny Gray, but that's definitely good for the rookie. Ryan, what have you heard? Have you heard any news from camp that you'd like to report on, or anything from the Niners area in general?
OTAs hasn't been so fruitful as far as I feel. Like, without having like the majority of the squad there and having pads on, we really can't assess too much. You know what I mean? So it's just nice to see everybody there. It's nice to hear that, Trey's throwing motion is changing and for the better. You know what I mean? I believe the kicking, I haven't heard about the kicking game lately. It seems like I only heard something the second day of OTAs when all the reporters got there. And after that day, it's just been kind of quiet. So I don't know. I'm just trying to like bide my time, I guess, until stuff really happens. It seems more like we're just I don't know, making guesses on stuff that really it doesn't have any kind of merit to what's going on in the season right now. So I just kind of, just listen for things that maybe be signs about something later. You know what I mean? That's just all I'm doing right now. There's nothing really evident that we can really get from OTAs at this moment, I don't think. Actually, I would say the biggest takeaway is Christian McCaffrey will be a captain on the team this year. That's probably the biggest takeaway from OTAs. Guys getting after it.
Yeah. Corey, let's give it to you real quick. Has anything in 49er news, OTAs, or anything in general you want to bring to the table?
Okay. I guess I could still mention him that No Border Sports took.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Corey.
Nah. I was hoping nobody say it. But I've been hearing about Christian McCaffrey tearing it up. Trey Lance was interviewing him. I was on my way to my nephew's house for more celebration. I was listening to the news on the car, and they was talking about Christian McCaffrey was tearing it up in OTAs. He's looking real good. And they talked about how he only had they said that Trey Lance saying is how he only had coming in the middle of the season and learn the offense. Now it seems like he got a real grasp of the offense now. So he's looking good. And that's pretty much what I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Awesome.
And Trey said he's learning a lot from him too, saying he's looking at that man working out, how he just works out so hard, and so he's trying to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely seems to be focused. He's coming into camp with that energy. I love it. What about you, David? Have you heard anything in the 49ers OTAs or 49er camp? Or again, did you hear if they got a new ice bath? Anything?
I haven't heard about the ice baths yet, but we definitely need to upgrade that. But at this point, my biggest take is Drake Jackson showing up with his NFL body.
Yeah.
Trey Lance, we're working with a different QB coach, actually fixing his mechanics. Maybe Beck wasn't the guy he needed to be working with. Maybe, this is all yet to be seen what's going to happen because OTAs and minicamp isn't, it really, I'm with Ryan, it really doesn't tell you much.
Mm-hmm.
But like Drake Jackson showing up in shape, NFL body ready to go, and still getting 3 sacks and 8 batted balls and 15% of the snaps last year. I would love to see him play 40-ish%, because just having an impact batting balls down and putting pressure on the quarterback, pushing him over to Bosa and Hargrave, or doing whatever he's going to be doing, that's going to be great to see.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and like everyone said it, we don't get a whole lot of news coming out from camp because, well, they just don't report a whole lot. The reporters are only there for a short period of time. They do have a little bit more practice that we don't get to see. And all the little bit of practice that we get to see, we're really clamoring to get it. And, sometimes the reporters are all in the same area. So you might only hear a little bit about a different position breakdown or battle in a different area. It's like the kicker thing. I think everybody was watching the quarterbacks, and there was only 1 or 2 guys that was actually watching the kicker. So there was like 4 kicks that was made by both kickers, and they made both the first 3 that were shorter. They both hit wide right, I believe, and it was like a 48 out, and they missed it. But I guess reports came, and it doesn't matter really. If you miss, you miss. But it looked like Jake Moody had a lot bigger of a leg, and he missed it a lot further. It looked like the ball sailed a lot further out. But regardless, it's camp, and you want to see that stuff in camp. You want to see them, practicing, and they said, oh, it was windy stuff, and but regardless, they got to get out there and practice. And we're not seeing how much the kickers are practicing right now, or anybody really else is practicing. So like we're really like just scrambling to get bits from people like Lombardi or Grant Cohn or anybody else that's able to go to training camp, or practice right now. And if it happens, if I'm lucky enough, I'm going to try to go to training camp this year, at least once or twice this year. It'd be fun to go, but I'm not going to be able to break it down the way they can break it down. I'll be able to humbly give you guys what I've seen, but we'll go from there. But that's what I got for OTAs as well. Trey Lance has been playing, practicing, looking good. Sam Darnold got to practice. He looked okay as well. There was a pass that he missed. I think he was trying to throw it to Danny Gray, and Danny Gray had to come back for it. The one quarterback, Brandon Allen, he's been actually lighting it up. I think he went 7 for 7 out of everybody. So, again, you want to have a good veteran quarterback that can come in and play and knows what to do with the ball in practice. But practice and games are a little different. So if he can do it in practice, we'd hope he could translate it to games. And the big thing about him is he did back up the Bengals quarterback, Joe Burrow. So if anything happened there, they were confident that he could come in and start. But again, we don't want to get down to Brandon Allen. I think he's going to be 4-stringer. I think he might make our practice squad if no one, I don't know how that'll work. I don't know if we can put him on the practice squad. He's a veteran, and I don't know if we'll be able to hide him or not. So I'd have to look into that because I know some veterans they can save and some veterans they can't save from other teams poaching them. But if you guys like to get into the meat and the potatoes of the show, this is where the show gets a little bit fun. So everybody, please grab your cup of coffee, sit back, enjoy. The comments will probably be going off. We're going to keep it polite, not raunchy. But this is the morning show, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. So I've been talking about it for a while, and I really wanted to get to this. We did the mascots, and I think today is a great day to do the cheerleaders. So we're going to be going over the NFL cheerleaders, and over my little research that I was doing over the last couple days, I found out the cheerleaders bounce back and forth. Yes, they bounce back and forth. Pause. No, we're going to continue on. Last year, they only had like 6 teams that didn't have cheerleaders. And then there's 7 teams that don't have cheerleaders. So it seems like it's a decision that's made by the organization. Some organizations love the cheerleaders, and some of them have to move off of them. And what I found is there's cheerleaders that ends up suing the organization. So the organization for a period of time takes a step back, and they don't have cheerleaders. So a lot of interesting stuff's happened. So let's go ahead and jump in it. And first off, let me tell you the 7 teams that don't have cheerleaders, but I might still have a picture of them because, again, they might have had a cheerleader back in the day. So we don't have all current pictures because the cheerleaders do change their uniforms a little bit. So what we're going to do is we'll pick up the picture. We'll all guess what team that is. We'll give a couple of minutes. I do have a little bit of a brief breakdown on the cheerleaders, and we'll go from there. So really quickly, the Buffalo Bills. Sorry, no cheerleaders. Cleveland Browns. Sorry. Maybe that makes sense with Deshaun Watson.
Well, and also like think of Buffalo Bills. What are those poor ladies going to wear up there in Buffalo, New York? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's very true. So we're going to the Bears, and as terrible as the Bears are, you'd think that somebody would smile with a cheerleader around, but there's no smiling because there's no cheerleaders for the Bears. Green Bay, again, Green Bay is one of those teams. They got everything. They're iconic, and I believe at one time they had Green Bay Packers cheerleaders, but currently they're not up there. And the Chargers. The LA Chargers currently don't have cheerleaders, which is interesting because you think Los Angeles, you got the Laker girls, like why not have the Charger girls, right? Sorry, YTC, the Giants, that blue collar team, you really think you had a cheerleader with the New Jersey atmosphere, but nope. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, we have the terrible towels. But nope. And maybe that makes sense. You don't want, to be whipping nothing. So they got the towels, no cheerleaders. So I can see the mentality to that. But again, these teams have had cheerleaders in the past, but they currently do not have cheerleaders right now. And I thought that was funny because that's
the terrible towel. That was an ingenious marketing scheme. A guy was tasked with finding some way to like get all the crowd together and all hyped up and this and that. And he had like no budget. So he just told everybody to bring a towel, a yellow towel or a gold towel to the game and, wave it around like that. And that's how the terrible towel started. It was actually, it's nothing like put out this and that. They made, official ones later, but it was just bring your dish towel in. Great marketing.
Yeah, it's actually really smart, and I mean, like, it's not a white towel, so it's really funny because they're not surrendering, so the terrible towel's coming in and, I mean, like, I always thought that's kind of funny. You look at Pittsburgh, they got the towel. Green Bay's got the chunk of cheese on their head.
Damn.
Come on.
Mute him, bro. Jesus.
I did, but he muted himself twice. It happens. Hey, thank you guys. If you're not awake yet, you're awake now. This is the Sunday morning show, and we are glad you're here. So yeah, I thought that was really funny because that's 7 teams currently this year. But for last year, it was, and I'll do this really quickly: Chicago, Cleveland, New York Giants. That's on the same team. That's on the same list, right? New York, the Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh are still on the list, but Detroit jumped off. The Lions have cheerleaders this year, and the Bills jumped into the. So last year the Bills had cheerleaders, and the Detroit Lions didn't. So now they're moving around. So the list is always changing. let's jump into some pictures real quick, and we're gonna guess what the cheerleaders are and where they're from. And no worries, Corey, no worries. Yeah, let's jump into the pictures. All right, so this will be fun. Okay.
Well, that's the Texans.
Yes, this is the Texans, and I like it. The cowboy hat. I don't think they'll be as popular as the Dallas Cowboy girls, but cowgirls. But I like it. The boots are nice, and yeah. What do you guys think, Texas?
I'd take them over the Cowgirls any day. The Cowgirls are like, they're totally fake. You know what I'm saying? It's just like fake upon fake upon fake. These ladies look normal. You know what I'm saying? They look regular.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the Houston Texans, and they probably are the little sister to Cowboys. And yeah, I like teams that have cheerleaders because the cheerleaders bring a different aspect to the fans, and this isn't just like a dance. This is they pump up the crowd. So shout out to the Texans. So let's move on to our next.
I gotta say it. So since the Cowboys' last playoff, Super Bowl win, the Texans actually have more playoff wins.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not just saying. I'm saying right now the Texans are the team of Texas.
Yeah,
that's a great stat.
That is true.
Shout out to Damian Lee for pointing that out to me.
Yeah, that is so true.
Shout out Damian Lee.
So the fun thing about like the cheerleaders is usually there's always a cheerleader in the Super Bowl. And the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers went to play each other in the Super Bowl. That was the first Super Bowl that didn't have at least one cheerleading team. So that's kind of interesting too. We're going to bring on the next group. Some of them's going to be pretty obvious because you're going to see the logo.
Oh, yeah. Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens were actually the first team to have cheerleaders. So they're the ones who started it all. So shout out to Baltimore. And
no,
hopefully they can keep attention.
Baltimore Ravens are an expansion team.
Oh, yes, the
Ravens were the first.
Baltimore Colts. I forgot the Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, let me pull that up. So, but yeah, that's awesome.
Well,
and I'm going to pull that up here in a second.
Again, these ladies look real. They don't look fake like the cowgirls cheerleaders, like the cowgirls.
Those are ladies that you could go out to the club and you would find at a regular club, chilling. You know what I mean? Those are cheerleaders I like. You know what I mean? I like ladies who are out there having fun, time in their life. I don't want somebody who's like pruning themselves and doing all this stuff to, just be like a model out there. That's not what I'm looking. I'm looking for somebody who's out there to have fun. These ladies look like they're having fun. You know what I'm saying? All different shapes, varieties of colors. You know what I mean? They're Dallas. I think they're always looking for like one shape and size. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and, you're 100% true. It was the Baltimore Colts. They were the Baltimore Marching Colts at the time. But yeah, it goes back to Baltimore. So that's super cool. Super, super cool.
Also, we're all being respectful. Just letting YouTube know. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, there's nothing derogatory here at all. We're just guessing what cheerleaders there are, and I have a little bit of facts for some of them. Some of them was really hard to find anything on because there's not a lot of information. I'm staying away from anything that's derogatory about team cheerleaders or anything like that. If you want to go and research that kind of stuff, that's fine. And we're not talking about marching bands or
team cheerleaders. What are you talking about?
Cheerleaders that have men and women on them. If you want to look that up, that's not what this is about. And if you want to be a cheerleader and you're a guy or girl, that's not a problem. That's totally up to you. And The NFL has got systems in place, so we're not going to get into that.
College, they do a lot of that.
So I think it's pretty obvious who these girls are. This is the Gold Rush girls.
Oh, this is so hard. I don't know
the
what
Gold
team.
Rush girls. Yeah, they do have different uniforms, and it's nice because it does get kind of windy over there in Santa Clara. One thing that's fun about the Gold Rush girls, a lot of the cheerleaders, they do go around and they do a lot of publicity. They do a lot of photo shoots and stuff like that. They'll go with retired players, current players, and you'll see them at different places, store openings and stuff like that. And I've actually got to meet the different years of Gold Rush girls several times, so it's a lot of fun. Always fun to get a picture with, or they'll sign autographs and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. Has anybody else met any Gold Rush girls?
Nope.
Corey would probably know that answer. John, have you met any Gold Rush girls?
Okay. Yeah. Like
Tampa Bay
events.
Buccaneers.
My guess would
Yep,
be the
Tampa Bay
Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I don't like the
Yeah,
don't like the uniform. Like, I like the tops. I just wish the bottoms weren't so jazzy. You know what I mean? Like, there's too much going on. If they had like solid bottom with like maybe like the dark color on there, kind of going across it a little bit. You know what I mean? They got a lot of logos on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leave the logo on the top, and then because when you see how on the lady in the front, how her knee, you're only getting half the logo there. To me, that looks like crap. You know what I mean? I want to see the whole logo, or I don't want to see the logo. And that's why I think it's great on the chest there, because it gives a nice straight, a bigger canvas area. So I just think, it's too much for me.
You know what? Like some black pants with like a matching red stripe going down the side of them would be perfect.
Yeah.
And
You're trying to give them blood stripes. They're not Marines.
Yeah. Like sometimes like too much, it isn't always, good. So you always like very simple, and having the logo, like you're basically like trying to just put too much emphasis on the logo of the team. So
yeah.
Well, again,
I can't tell what's on their other hip.
One image of the,
almost looks like it's an Atlanta Falcons logo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Just saying.
the
saying.
Falcons.
You're doing too much. This is what can happen when you do too much.
The Falcons.
The Falcons.
Yes,
That's
and I agree.
Falcons.
And this is just one. This is one of their outfits. They do have other outfits throughout the year, but I think if you look at the sky, it's kind of overcast. So maybe this is why they do have over. They do.
I'm just messing with you.
Because I'm looking at images right now, and I'm like, no, they got the the skirt and stuff and the top, and but this is.
I think the pants are fine. It's just that
this is a great
graphics all over. It's just trashy. You didn't do it right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not big for the logos blasted all over everything. Like one classic logo, maybe on the arm sleeve or on the chest or something. You want to put it on the hip or something. That's kind of cool. Like a butt tattoo or something. But no, I think the black pants would have been fine. I think you guys all nailed it there. But they definitely want you to see that pirate flag, huh? So, all right, so the Buccaneers, they've had different nicknames through the years. But they're just currently the Buccaneer cheerleaders, and a lot of teams cheerleaders were the Ets, so like the Buckettes, the Raiderettes, the Chiefettes. So, and then for a short period of time, they stopped using that. So, we're gonna move on to our next picture, and that's a good picture.
Yeah.
Shout out Don Burr.
That's a good picture. Yeah.
Detroit versus everyone.
Yeah, and again, this is cool because it's just them with their pom poms, and they don't have anything like blasted. The logo's not all over everywhere, And this is something that you can say, hey, there's the team colors, and cool. Girls don't have to have everything all over them. You can tell who they're rooting for by the colors.
Yeah,
All
Denver
right.
Broncos.
Yeah. And I like this because they got the little vest going on, kind of like they're a cowgirl or they're at the rodeo or something like that. Rodeo is better than cowgirl. And I mean, again, got the team colors, and classy. It kind of make you think, like you're going to Hooters there for a second with the orange, but still.
Just a little. Just a little.
Oh man.
The short shorts and the nylons. I've never been to Hooters, actually. If you want to know, I've just seen, video clips from Hooters. But yeah, that looks kind of like it now that you say it.
Well, my wife has been to Hooters, right? She is all excited. She went to Hooters before I did. I went all the way to Kentucky. She is out here in California in high school. I think they went on senior cut day or something like that up to Sacramento to go to Hooters. And I'm like, she's telling me, and I'm like, I've never been to one. I'm like, where's my man card? It's got good food and stuff, and there's nothing in her. I mean, yeah, the girls are, in a little bit.
Don't you pay like $5 a wing or something like that?
Oh, I can't remember. At all. But
see, I don't think the wings taste that good to pay that much money. That's my feeling.
I can't remember what we ate. I just remember it was fun. I went with my brother and my grandpa, and man, that was fun. No Tony for that one. She didn't get to go to that one, or maybe she did. I can't remember because my grandpa took her everywhere with us, so she might have been sitting there with me. That's where my man card was at. She was holding it.
Oh man!
All right, moving on. I can see it. So for like cold weather teams and stuff like that, I can see it. And this is definitely a good way to keep the girls warm. So
and there's nothing wrong with this.
Nope.
I know it's the Eagle. I know it's the Eagles, but I like those uniforms.
I know.
Hey,
those actually look pretty good.
You don't have to show skin. No one's saying that you have to show skin. You know what I mean? And you don't even necessarily have to have like skin tight stuff. You just have to look pretty. You know what I'm saying? And these ladies definitely look pretty in these uniforms. So
yes, respect to the ladies for having to cheer for a horrible team. The Eagles.
yeah, poor things.
Sorry, little Spongy.
Well, if they're rooting for Philadelphia, they know what they're into, and every fan has their own lady and their own crowd, and I'm sure they're just as nice as the Eagles fans and respectable. And every team needs a good, every man needs a good woman, every woman needs a good man. So if the Eagles have cheerleaders that are this great, more power to them. Everybody should be respectful at the game, and that's all we can say, hopefully, right? But yeah, I like it. I like the windbreaker idea. They got a jacket, it's a zipper, so they can probably pull all that off. They probably got a nice top on where, if it's too hot in the summertime, and this is probably just for like the wintertime, games. So like it. All right, so fly, Eagles, fly. All right, moving on.
Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
that's
the emblem.
There's a logo on the team.
Yeah, and that's cool because it's Charlotte. It's a little warmer there. It's humid, and this is probably just like one of those beginning of the year games because I imagine all the girls have like those windbreakers where they can jump into something. So again, team colors. I mean, if they sat down in the bleachers, you'd probably miss them because aren't all those seats in the Panther Stadium blue too? So I think it was clever. All right, so we're going to move on then. No one else has comments and continue to go on.
Oh, the poor Commanders ladies. These ladies are subjected to so much stuff.
So
Hold on, is that an R on the belt? Is this an older picture?
Yes, it's an older picture.
It is an older picture. Yep, but they still currently have cheerleaders, and they're still like, I guess, one of the most popular cheerleaders teams in the league, even with all the controversy that's happened.
I feel bad because I'll stop.
Yeah, what they were subjected to isn't right. You know what I'm saying? And it's despicable.
So
It really is. It really is.
Some rich man
Yeah.
does that to my daughter, things will be different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a YouTube
don't,
clip.
you don't treat people in a certain way, and you also make sure that your children, your daughters, your sons, they have the ability to say, hey, I don't want to do this almighty dollar isn't enough for me, and I'm gonna just go and find something else to do. So hopefully everyone has confidence to move on, and nobody should be treated like that either. But it wasn't the entire organization. It was a brief stint for the organization, and now the organization's in better hands. But when this
No, it's
kind of
not.
stuff, well, it's to
It
be
officially
determined.
it's in the transitional phase.
So it's to be determined, and hopefully everything gets straightened out. But the Commanders, the Washington football team, when things like this happen, sometimes the cheerleaders will sue the organization, and then the organization will suspend the cheerleaders for a certain period of time, and
Oh,
that's kind of what's happened with like the Buffalo Bills.
So yeah. So I heard a month ago when the team was being sold that the investment group, like the bank, the money is from Qatar. So for those who've never heard that, that's where they had that World Cup. The people out there who are the business people, they have a mindset that we're going to invest, and they want input. If that is true, and I don't know if it's 100% true, they'll probably eliminate the cheerleaders because they have a custom out there. For those who don't understand, they don't believe that stuff. If that is true, if they're playing on the road, they'll probably tell the NFL don't have cheerleaders because it's a weird thing out there. So if that is true, the NFL may have to let teams know, oh, when you're playing the Commanders, you can't have your cheerleaders on the field.
See, that's the thing. If that's going to happen, then don't sell the team to that group. Bye. I'm sorry.
So,
You know what I mean? If
I
you're
don't know
gonna
if I
if you're gonna cause such a hassle and we got to do all this other stuff, I'm sorry. You could just not have a team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm not worried about you owning a team. There's lots of different groups that would love to own a team. I don't care about it.
I know
I don't know I don't know if I heard right or not, but the way I understand it is the visiting teams cheerleaders stay at home. They don't fly with the team. So you don't
yes.
like the San Francisco 49ers in Green Bay. You see,
I think it's
the
only
only
for
time
like
that
Super Bowls
thank you.
or maybe NFC championships, AFC championships, but I'm not sure.
No,
I
so
don't remember.
what I'm trying to say,
Part of home
what I'm
field
trying to
advantage.
say is that, okay, so it like I got a lot of friends from the Middle East, and their custom is that women need to wear proper clothes.
I understand that. I totally understand
But
all that.
What I'm saying
That doesn't
is
mean
that,
you have to push your stuff onto our things.
I
You know
know,
what I'm saying?
but what I'm saying is that because they are who they are. Like, say they're going to go to Seattle, and Seattle Seahawks, they have cheerleaders. They're uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying to say.
So there's
cheerleaders.
sheiks out there that are going to strip clubs and are throwing thousands of dollars on ladies, and they're not dressed modestly.
So,
You know what I mean? So it's all here and there.
I know.
What they do in
sorry.
private is different than what they want to convey in
I'm
public.
sorry. That's my fault.
That's why
Okay.
I just don't. Yeah.
No, it's okay. That's why we were just talking. But the way I understand it, and maybe that's why I piped up, is the away teams cheerleaders don't travel. So like the Niners wouldn't be taking their cheerleaders to Seattle. So if there's somebody up there that doesn't like what the Niners cheerleaders look like because they dress a certain way, that's not going to happen. The only way it happens, I believe, and I'm not 100% true, but is the Super Bowl. Because that's what happened in the Super Bowl. The Steelers didn't have cheerleaders, and the Packers didn't have cheerleaders. But
what up, Lawrence?
Lawrence.
the NFL, they try to keep it respectful. They don't, nobody's out there showing anything that they are not allowed to show. And sure, there's different cultures and countries that don't want you showing more than that. But when you're in America, that's what we're going off of. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next team. And shout out to the Washington Redskins, the Commanders. Real quick, let me throw this out there. They are the Washington Commanders. But in 1962, let me bring them back up one more time. In 1962, they were known as the Redskin Nets. And they're currently now the Washington Commander cheerleaders.
The Redskin Nets?
Yeah, so like a lot of teams, maybe I didn't say that correctly, but a lot of teams, you know how like you have the Raiderettes? So this is the Redskinettes.
Oh, I thought you said Nets. Like the Redskin.
Redskinettes. Like one word.
I got it now. I thought he was talking about like the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I mean? I was like, what the hell are they talking about? I thought you were talking about the team itself, not the cheerleading corps. My bad.
So the Packers, their cheerleaders were known as the Packerettes, but they're no longer, so for right now they're no longer a squad. But we'll go ahead and move on to the Jaguars. Kind of gave that one away, but that's awesome right there. You got the girls in the team colors. It's at Florida, so they're in shorts and they got tops because it looks like it probably is a night game. And
I don't like the tops. Something about the white on the tops, but whatever's clever.
I can see that, yeah.
I thought you were going to go about it. I think the shorts are cute. I like how they got the white stripe on the side. I like how they got the laces in the front. I think that's cute. You know what I mean? I like how the logo is on the front. The white the white on the shoulders kind of throws me off with the extra black line in there. Like it seems like they thought about everything well except for that part of it. And I don't know what I would do different at the moment, but I'm just saying it just throws me off a little bit.
It almost makes it seem like they have like a top on. And if you think about Jaguars, they're kind of a fun franchise. They like to change their helmet and their uniforms every so often. You guys all remember the half gold and the half black helmet? Maybe that's the concept here.
They should have just done like a fur, like the Jaguar. It looked like Jaguar fur on the thing. That probably would have been cool. Yeah,
Jaguar print or something.
Jaguar print. Yeah.
And Brandon, I have a question. I don't know. Maybe they just took this picture with 4 women. Is it more cheerleaders?
Nope. They only have 4 cheerleaders.
They only have 4?
They can't pay for any more. You know how crappy that team is. you know who the GM is, right? You know who the GM is. Yeah. He's running the team in the ground so much they've gone down to 4.
They do have a couple cheerleaders that are, they are on IR right now. So
they got
an IR. Oh man,
oh that's good.
Shout out to. Okay, so the Jaguars, their cheerleaders are known as the Roar. Yeah, I like it. That's the name of their squad.
Different.
The Roar. Yeah.
Different.
Because it doesn't have to be the Jaguar cheerleaders. It's the Roar, Jacksonville Roar. That's what they call their squad. So I like it, So like we got the Gold Rush girls. I mean, like let's make it a part of the team, and part of the community. All right, so we're gonna move out of Duval Valley, and we're gonna probably move to everybody's favorite cheerleaders. At least in my household, they are probably my second favorite. This is the Raiderettes, and they are still the Raiderettes. This isn't their normal uniforms, but this is their Christmas time. So shout out to the Raiders. They look like they're having fun there. And
I'm so happy they were able to get work release. You know what I'm saying? It was really nice, especially like I'm guessing this was Christmas. So I'm wondering if they got to see their families too on the same day.
Well, there is a lot of things that go into being a cheerleader. There are a lot of rules, and it's one of those things that you probably don't get paid as much as you should, and you got to probably do it for the love of your team. So yes, shout out to all the ladies here. Hopefully they were able to go home and see their family on Christmas, and hopefully they enjoyed a great game. So we are not going to spend too much time on the Raiders. They got their problems with Jimmy G. We're going to move on.
they got their legal problems too.
All right, so here are the Cowgirls, and
Boo.
not the worst, but you can see, it's kind of been the same forever. Now let's jump back up here real quick to this one. Which one looks better?
I like this one better than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not horrible, and I even like this one kind of better, even for like a cowboy. Like
Personally, the hats and the dress sell it for me. You know what I mean, with the Texans cheerleaders.
yeah,
And if the Broncos ladies had skirts and a hat, they'd win it over all of them as far as cowgirlish type costumes. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they got the better vest. You know what I mean? I think when I think of like a cowgirl, I think of one of them like leather skirts that they wore. You know what I mean? So they could be on the horses and it wouldn't get tangled by the brush and whatnot and all that good stuff. So that's what I think about with cowgirls. So the moment you get that into like a Halloween costume, a girl's Halloween costume, I think that's the epitome of like a cowgirl cheerleader, like the template. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a cute cowgirl hat. I think the vest is really cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the cut of the Seahawks, or not the Seahawks, but the cowgirls vest. And I don't like the cut of the shirt. It just doesn't, it seems too 70s. You know what I mean? It's like my grandma, God rest her soul, Grandma Mabel. She stopped buying clothes in the 60s. Okay. And it showed. And it seems like these outfits are straight from 70s porn. You know what I mean?
well, and that's a good point. Because if you look at it, they're not the Texas Rangers. They're cowgirls, so they should look like they went to a rodeo. And I get it, like their tops kind of look like their bandanas in a sense, but they could do that with their neck a little bit. They could have cowboy hats. They could make it look like they're more like at a rodeo, not like they're Walker Texas Ranger. Shout out to Chuck Norris. We all
If your uniform would look good with a 6-shooter on your hip, you've done it right. This doesn't look right with a 6-shooter on the hip. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's just seen it for so long. They could modernize it a little bit.
Yeah.
What's that, Corey?
I like them. I don't like the cowboy. He's a cow. I remember when the cowgirls were more starred in the cowboys. A lot of times, a lot of people wanted to see the cowgirls before they could see the cowboy team. Their cheerleaders are more important than the football players. I can deal with them uniforms. I can't deal with the plain uniforms. I like the stars, the blue and white, and that black.
What did you just say? You like the stars, the blue and the white? Corey, we're gonna clip that.
I mean on the cheerleaders, not on the.
What's the difference? What's the difference? Corey, you trying to sleep with the enemy?
Corey,
No.
are you a Cowboys fan now?
Yeah.
No.
This is what I'm hearing.
Listen, I am not a Cowboy fan. I can't stand them mother team. I am a 49er. I'm not David Corona.
Ooh, shots fired.
Ooh, where's he at?
No, now he's gonna wake up. He's like, Corey, I'm not a Cowboys fan.
All right.
No, I don't.
All right.
I don't like the Cowgirls.
Yep. No, they're the cheerleaders are great, but the cowgirls are we're not going to talk about that football team anymore. We're going to move on to the other Texas team that's no longer in Texas, the Titans. And if you don't know, the Titans were the Houston Oilers, and now they've moved to Tennessee. Oh, that's our favorite mascot too, T-Rack.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is fun because it's probably one of those military weekends where they're in camo And everybody loves camo, and if you're down there in Tennessee,
I don't like this.
a lot of people go hunting and stuff like that, but this isn't the military camo that you would not get seen in the woods. So shout
This
out
looks
to
like that Russian camo that they would wear like in their Navy and whatnot, like the really trashy stuff.
Oh, geez. That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, so really quickly, because I want to move off of them, the Tennessee Titans, they're now the Titans because that's where they're at. They used to be the Oilers. When they were the Oilers, they were the cheerleaders were known as the Derrick Dolls. So I don't know why it is that.
Who is
Derrick
Who is
Dolls?
what?
If they would have went digital with the camo instead of the pattern they did, that would look a lot better.
I feel that right there. Yeah, David, I think you're right there. It looks too like
Cartoony.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't look like it's actual camo. It looks like it's like patterns that were just thrown on there in different colors. You know what I mean? Like different shapes thrown on there in different colors. It just doesn't look right. And the cut of it doesn't look right to me for some reason. I can't explain it. I don't know.
All right, so yes, they were called the Derrick Dolls back in 1975 to 1999. So now they're just known as the Titan Cheerleaders. So the Tennessee Titan Cheerleaders. But there was probably some, and I can't find the reason that they were called that. Okay, so we're moving on. Moving on to the Dolphins. The Dolphins have had many names, and they're pretty much all the Dolphins. But the Miami Dolphins have had several names. They're originally, since 1983 to present, they're the Miami Dolphins. But in 66 to 77, they were the Dolphin Dolls. From 1978, they were the Starbrights.
What the hell?
Yeah, they were the Starbrights. And then they turned it to in 1980, from 1980 to 1983, they went to the Dolphin Starbrights. So they incorporated Dolphin in there. And they separated it. It was Dolphin Starbrights, and then it was Dolphin Starbright. So they separated the name. Yeah.
That is weird.
But it's Miami, So, let them have it. And then they turned them just to the Dolphins. So now they're just the Miami Dolphin cheerleaders. So everybody, this is probably one of the most, I don't know, when you think about cheerleading, you probably think about the Dallas Cowboys, and then you probably think about Miami. And if you don't, then, well, okay. But I kind of always think of it that way because, every time you see Miami, it's always bright. You think of the beaches. You think of the girls down there.
No.
If you're not. That's what I've always seen. So, and I wear glasses. So we're moving on.
Cincinnati
Falcons.
The Falcons.
So the Falcons have cheerleaders. They're one of those teams. They're in a dome, so they don't really have to worry about temperature control or anything like that. They do have many different. They have many different outfits, and they're pretty much standard to their colors. So overall, this is kind of like a new era.
Yeah, I got to say this in
I'll
the
take
most
the first
respectful
two.
way.
Bang.
The first lady is very beautiful.
Yep. Second one too. I'll take them both.
I actually think
Awesome.
Those uniforms are okay, but if you swap out the black for the white, that would be like awesome.
So you add more white to it,
Okay, I can.
or you swap the black.
No,
and
you
the white?
swap out the current white, you swap that out for where it's black, and there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
I'll take this too. Let's take them all. Ooh.
Corey.
All right.
Oh, we can do that tier too. Dang.
All right. So we're moving on to the Saints, and the Saints
Lordy.
are fun. They're a dome team too, and the Falcons and the Saints are both the teams that the Niners used to have to play against. It's kind of funny. We used to have to play the Saints, the Falcons, and the Rams, and there were 3 dome teams. So we were on AstroTurf, at least 3 games out of the year. So with the New Orleans Saints, they've had several different names. In 1977, they have settled on the Saint-Sations. So if you go down there and you're looking at the Saints, this is the Saint-Sations. I'm not fluent in French, so I'm not going to try to butcher the other names. The only other one I could tell you before the 77, before they started changing things around, they used to call the cheerleaders the Angels. So I think
you talking about the Fleur-de-Lis?
It's called Mamselles. Mamselles. I'll put it in the private chat. Maybe you can pronounce it.
Yeah.
But this was one of their other names, and we'll stick here for a second. But they also called them the Angels, kind of like the Charlie's Angels, but then they moved on to the Saint-Sations, and I think that's really clever because they're the Saints. They're not the Angels. And the Saints are also they have a dance squad down there. They do a lot of other stuff. So I can't pronounce this. So this was the other name.
But I don't know what that is.
It's Mamselles.
No, I'm looking at it, right? I'm looking at it. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. So we're gonna go ahead and move on from the Saints. We're moving on to the next team. Thank you guys all for sticking around and having fun with us. We do see your comments. We're just kind of keeping it polite and moving fast. This is the Patriots.
Hold on. I have something to say about the Saints uniforms. They spelled it wrong. They put an S on it. It's the Ain't.
Wow.
Yep, it's the Ain't. They put an S on it. I don't know why they did that.
I like their uniforms.
Hey,
it's
Mamsel.
I like
it's Mamsel, like a damsel in distress. Mamsel.
Oh, now that's clever. Thank you, Ryan. So yes, that was the other name for the Saints at one period of time for their cheerleading squad, Mamsel. All right, so we're going to move on to New England. And what do you guys think about their outfits?
The pronunciation of this word sounds like...
I don't. I think the white on the shoulder still messing with me. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, really, but the white on the shoulder's messing with me. I think the shorts are cute. I like the stripes on the side. I like the Patriot on the front there. You know what I mean? I would try and mimic the jerseys. You know what I mean? If they got stripe on the shoulder, you put a stripe on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Mimic the jersey as much as you can.
If you look at the left shoulder, it has a stripe on it. You look at the right shoulder, it doesn't. So they need to keep it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Universal.
Because they put a logo on there. They put a logo on there so you can't have the stripe. I'm guessing, and that's stupid. You already got a logo right on the freaking chest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, exactly. So I'm not the biggest fan. Maybe this is a summertime game, and I imagine all the girls have different outfits and stuff like that. But you would think Patriots, New England, and like Foxborough, it's going to be a little colder up there. What was it? The snow game, the tuck, I would like to see these girls in, I don't know, warm clothes, but that's okay.
Do you know what Mamsel means? Mamsel is short for Mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle.
Yeah, so they're the
Mademoiselle. That makes sense too.
Yep.
So, again, going back to like having a team and, being, clever with the nicknames and keeping things, not punny, but keeping them in the same, like stratosphere, the same, mentality. Shout out to the Saints. All right. So we're going to move on to our next batch of.
Are they called the Minute Women?
No, the Patriots cheerleaders are just called the Patriot cheerleaders. All right, so here's the Colts, and I think they could have done better.
I think they could have done better too. I'd say I like the Cowboys, the Cowgirls uniforms better, I would say.
This looks like
The vest is very plain. The skirt doesn't do much for me. I don't know.
This looks
I don't like
like
how it just goes down in the front like that. I'd rather it be the same all the way around, or like taper, or do something like that. It just does, I don't know, the whole thing. And the boots just don't look right. Like they look too big for them. Kind of, I don't know.
I think
If
it's
you had
the
a boot that
tassels
was
on
like
the
a
side
sock.
of the tassels on the sides of the boots is probably what makes them look that way. If
Okay,
it didn't have that, they'd be good.
and they
That
got
looks like
tassels on the side. I don't like it.
that looks like a dollar store Cowboys jersey uniforms, cheerleaders uniforms.
It
Yeah,
does
you
look
wouldn't-
very. It does. It looks very plain. Go ahead, Corey.
You said what I said. It looked very unplain, just plain colors. You know, only way I would know it's Colts is because they're the Colts sign on their shoes.
Right.
Nowhere else says they're the Colts. If I was like sitting way in the fence stands, I'd be like, all right, and I'm at the Cowboys, those Cowboys cheerleaders.
Without those boots, you could probably take them to probably a couple hundred different high school football games, and everybody go like, "Yep, that's our cheerleaders." You know what I mean? Colors with the cowgirl thing. Yeah, that's our. We're the Mustangs. You know what I mean? Like no one knows that they're Colts. They got a U on their they got a horseshoe on their belt, but I don't know. It just doesn't.
You can't see it though.
Yeah, it doesn't really stand out enough. I don't know. It's
No, it
lackluster.
really does. They could have done better. I don't even know if you could put a hat on them, like a cowboy hat on them, and it would do better for them. I really don't. I would think that they're trying to go with like a rodeo theme here, but it just kind of doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And maybe it's the pom poms. Maybe they need to have like more white on the pom poms. I don't know. It's just the blue is too electric.
I think there's enough. I think there's enough white already. What my problem is the cut of everything. The cut of the skirt doesn't look right to me. The cut of the vest just looks boring. You know what I mean? It just looks plain Jane. There's nothing really going on. You got a little bit of blue trim. That's it. Okay. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's boring.
I think it's too bedazzled. You look at the tops. The tops are too shiny. The pom poms are too shiny. I think if they did throw a little bit of white in the pom pom and it was blue and white, it would look better. Because I don't know. I just don't like it. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna give this one a I don't know. We're not gonna give it a passing
2 thumbs down.
Failing grade, but we're just gonna move.
No, I failed it. Oh, these are
All
the
right.
Rams.
Moving on to the Chargers.
Chargers.
Now the
These are the Chargers?
Yep.
Why the hell do they have gold? They got yellow, not gold.
So the Chargers have had cheerleaders in the past, but currently the LA Chargers don't have cheerleaders, but the San Diego Chargers have. The Chargers their color schemes are like navy blue and gold, or like that yellow, gold, and white. So it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. And then you guys know the Chargers are that funny team. They got navy blue uniforms and then that light blue uniform. It's like I don't know.
The baby blue.
That's why the Niners
powder blue.
Yeah, the Niners are the Niners. They have to have like 5 different uniforms to make us feel good. So, yeah, the Chargers, they're, I don't know. They're just like the Rams. It's really funny. They got the same colors, same exact colors. So, any thoughts on the Chargers? You guys want to move on?
Yeah.
All right.
Move on.
All right.
Oh,
You
boy.
guys guess who this?
That's the Rams, right? Or is that the Seahawks?
Seahawks.
That's the sea chickens.
That's a sea
The
chicken.
Sea Chickens.
You can barely tell with the green in there. It looks green, but also looks like a dingy yellow, like what the Rams would have.
Shout
But-
out Joe Stevens.
They look like sailors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like Sailor
I like
Moons.
it. Yes. Yes, they got that like anime style kind of thing going on right there. I definitely noticed that. Now they used to be called the Sea Gals. Okay, so shout out
Yep.
to the Sea Gals. But I don't think that's what they're currently being called. And I think they also have a dance, it's not a cheerleading group, but it's a dance group. So they're still cheerleaders, but they also have like a bigger performance that come out onto the stage, and there's a name for that group, and I was able
Well,
to
I
write
think-
it down last.
Don't
Go
they
ahead.
also perform with Blue Thunder, the drum team that the Seahawks have?
And I think you're correct. I think they also have a marching band. So there's a lot going on for the Seahawks, and
Which
maybe we'll
I
be able to ask
totally
Joe when
think
he comes back.
every team should have. You should have yourself a hype band. You know what I'm saying? And be able to play some live music in the stands. I like it better than just playing music over the thing. I'd rather hear some drums and some horns. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear some bam, you know what I mean? Like that's what I want to hear. I think it's better, but
I would love to see a band come back into the game, even if they put it on the sidelines or something like that, or somehow, like I know there's like ways they could do it. Baseball has dugouts. So I don't know if they could like somehow make a dugout for, like the band. They could be underneath like the 50-yard line or something like that, where they're not going to get hit, or you're not going to have to move cameras around where they're not going to, be in the view of other people. But there's ways of doing it. But when you have that, it's like going to a high school football game when you do have the band and you have the cheerleaders there. It's like that's why high school football is the way it is. That's why college football is the way it is. You get like so many people showing up on a Saturday, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is. The energy is unbelievable. So shout out to everybody who, is in band, and, you are appreciated.
Like
Okay. So we're going to move. Go ahead, John.
So I could be wrong. I remember I was watching the Niners some years back, and they had a group of guys with drums. It's not a band. I forget what's it called. I don't know if it's called like a drum line. I think the Niners had that for a while, but I could be wrong.
That's something cool. We'll have to check that out and see if they had that and why they took it away. Because right now I know they got the boom box, but I don't know if they have like a drum line or a marching band. I know the two games that I got to go see, they had like a performer that came out during halftime to sing. And I don't understand that either. Like, I don't want to go there and see, Taylor Swift at the 49ers game. No offense to Taylor Swift, but I'd rather go and maybe like while I'm standing there in the concession line buying my hot dog and my beer, I'd rather, hey, the band's out there or the cheerleaders are out there doing something. I think when me and my dad went to the Oakland Raider game, the Battle of the Bay in 1999 against the Niners, they had Airbud running around on the field. If you guys remember Airbud, the dog who could catch and shoot basketballs,
no, he couldn't. It was all a lie.
It's the golden retriever, and he's real. He's real.
It was all a
So,
lie. It was all a lie.
I seen him catch a football with my own eyes. All right.
He was
So,
using PEDs.
he was on PEDs.
He was on PEDs.
Shout out to Airbud and all of his offspring.
There
So,
will be
all
an
right, moving on.
asterisk next to all of his stats for here until the end of time.
Never. All right. So I was trying to find a different picture. Tony was like, do you really want to use this picture? And I was like, why not? They deserve it. Even maybe they don't deserve it. But this is
That poor lady's
Levi's
got the
out.
piece of confetti right over her nose.
Shout out to Rudy.
Yeah, but for that. Yep. Shout out to
Oh, look,
Leo
look,
time.
OBJ is one of their cheerleaders. Check it out.
Yeah.
Igniter. Wow. Shout out to Rudy.
yeah.
Apparently, his raps are so good.
I don't see anything wrong here, other than the team
Nah.
that they work for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I could see the bedazzle part in their uniform and stuff too, because if you look back at their uniform, their helmet that year, they were doing like that, like tie-dye t-shirt where it's like half of it was one color in the bottom.
But it's
But their
also
helmet had
it's
that
sparse.
helmet. The helmet had the metallic paint in it. So with them having like a little bit of the bedazzle or something, I can see it. And
Well,
you're
it's
right.
not like every square inch is bedazzled. It's like, there's one bedazzle every 4, like 4 cubic inches or square inches. You know what I'm saying? Like it's spread out a little bit.
Yeah, and modest, but you can still see it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, shout out to the Rams, 20 whatever champions.
It's an accent, not a focal point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
The Bears?
The Bears are actually one of the teams that do not have a cheerleading squad.
Oh, that's
They'd
right.
be a little bit happier probably. If they,
The Browns.
close, but no cigar.
That looks like the
Bengals.
Browns and
Oh, the
Yep.
Bengals.
Yeah, because there's some tiger stripes.
Yeah.
yep. And the
Yeah,
Browns
the
are
lady
also-
on the left has sleeves, and you can see the 2 stripes up there.
Mhm.
And the Browns are also another team that do not have they don't have cheerleaders. Sad. I think the cheerleaders make a little bit everybody happier, just enhance it just a little bit better. And I love it. You got the stripes, you can see it, just like their helmets. So, there shouldn't be any other team in the league that have stripes. It should just be the Bengals. So,
I think
all
it
right,
needs
so we're
like
gonna move on to
I think it needs like a
ahead.
black outline. The top. Because you see how kind of like on some ladies, you can't tell if it's a shirt too well. You know what I mean? Like if you were from far away, you wouldn't be able to see where the tan was and then where the orange started. So to me, it just, I don't know. Like the top
I
doesn't
kinda
stick out
like it.
enough.
I like it. It says Bengals right there below their belly, and they got the emblem
Okay.
right there.
It has
I
nothing
like
to do
it,
with the black line that
the
I was
boots,
talking
I'm not
about.
digging the boots.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
I
the
hear you,
separation
but
on the top. You're talking
I-
about the name on the skirt. You're good.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you really. I don't know. I mean, like I think maybe a black line would just circle what they already have. That maybe they're just trying to be modest with. So I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see another picture of the Bengals cheerleader outfits and see what they've done, because this isn't their only one. They got multiple ones. I'd actually like to see what like a windbreaker would look like, maybe a jacket or something. But shout out to Tony the Tiger, and
They should. You know
they're
what would
great.
have been better? Some like some pants like this with like with the Bengal stripe. You know what I'm saying? Like the yoga pant type.
Yeah.
With the tiger stripe. I think that would be a lot killer. I think that would be a lot better. But this, I like
most
the cut
definitely.
of this skirt way more than the Colts. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look
Most
right. when it's
definitely.
just, like, doesn't have to be short. Just like the way that the line goes for me. You know what I mean? I don't care how long this or that. Really, it's just gotta. The way it doesn't look right.
You know what? There's the skirts for. Let's go back up there real quick. We're gonna go back real quick. Find those Colts. Find the Colts right where here. Now, when we looked at the Colts skirts, right? Doesn't it look like a Cowboys bib or something like that? Like almost like a
Yeah.
bandana. And I just think like I don't know, like it shouldn't look like a bib. It should look like a skirt. And
It's
I don't
almost
know,
like
but-
one of those things when
All
you go kayaking. You know, when you go sit in the kayak, you put the little thing over the little hole so water doesn't get in. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. They could do better. We might have to write a letter later, but for right now, we're gonna have to just move on. All right, coming to the Great Northeast, Minnesota. Now, I really don't. I would really like to know which one of these girls was in the mascot uniform, but
Right?
the mascot, and I'm like,
Right.
but These are cool because they're kind of like just like they're not windbreakers, but like yoga pants. They're like an exercise uniform. Um, they're not anything ugly. They got the logo on the left leg, but it's not too much. It's not like Tampa Bay where it's blasted everywhere, and you're like, geez. But the
This looks like
stripes are
it'd be one of
nice,
the most
and I
comfortable
don't know.
uniforms.
Yeah,
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? To me, this
And
looks
I
like it'd
just-
probably be one of the most comfortable ones.
Yeah. So Minnesota, right? The Vikings.
Minnesota.
Their cheerleaders are currently the Minnesota Viking cheerleaders, but back in 1961 to 63, they were the Vikings. I think that's killer, because they don't have to be the Vikingettes or something like that. They could be the Vikings, right? But then in 1964 to 1983, they became the Packerette. They became the Parkettes, not the Packerettes, the Parkettes. And the reason they became the Parkettes is because they were using St. Louis Park High School cheerleaders, which is really kind of cool. So they were using the cheerleaders from the high school, and the high school was called St. Louis Park. So they were the Parkettes, and they used them from, again, 1964 to 83. I don't know why they stopped using them, but then from 1984 to present, we have what we have here now, the Minnesota cheerleaders. So pretty cool. The Vikings were using, like the hometown team, the hometown school to, get people out there and hype up about the team. So really cool. All right, the last one we have of the day, the Cardinals.
That is the best thing about that franchise right there.
They still got crappy uniforms.
100%. But their uniforms kind of look like their football uniforms too. So I kind of dig that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool.
It's the white again.
Just swap out the white for the black, and you got something going there.
Right?
I like the boots. The boots are a little
I
bit
don't.
smaller. They look like they fit the girls' feet a little bit better. I don't know about the high heel, but they definitely look like they fit better. They don't have any, feathers or anything like that on
Take
them.
the
so-
cardinal off of it too. Like you don't have to put a logo on every piece of the outfit.
Has anybody seen my other boot? It's my left shoe I'm missing.
Left shoe.
What does it look like? Well, it's got a cardinal on it.
It's like Nike, or like Converse, it's got the emblem only on the inside. You're like, hey,
Right.
wait. So, yeah, but yeah, that's the Cardinals. Let's salute to all the girls, appreciate all of them. And they bring a different aspect to all sports. And hopefully, again, one day we can get our we could get all the teams out there to have cheerleaders, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Again,
Mr.
lawsuits
49
happen.
uniform.
People have to take a step back. Oh, no. We can go right back right away. I got them right here at the top. I actually found 3 pictures and get them all loaded, so maybe the next episode we'll pop in a cheerleader picture just for fun. Those
Before
are the
he
San
steps away at
Francisco
the wrong
Gold Rush
time.
girls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
And,
thought you were going to say the
this
best
isn't
for
their
last.
current uniform all the time. I wanted to, but just the way the cookies came out, sometimes ones are hotter and you got to save those for later. But yeah, this one is this is great. I like the red pom poms. I've seen red and gold pom poms before. I've seen different tops. It's really cool. I like the shorts. They also have windbreaker outfits where they're colder weather. They're definitely got pants and stuff. So that's really cool.
You know what
and
might
these
be
girls have been
cool?
around since like
Is
What's
if
that?
they had like red pom poms with like a iridescent gold tint to it. So like it would be red when you look at it directly, but then when it gets like side light onto it, it'd be gold. You know what I mean? That might be kind of cool.
yeah, that would be, I see there's some in pom pom here, but again, this isn't their this isn't their original. This is more of their modern. But again, these things change every year. The current 2023 uniforms, I think, will be a little bit different. I wasn't able to pick those pictures up because I think they're releasing them at a certain time. I don't know if there's a big, debut or something, but we'll have to stay tuned for that. But these girls, yeah, I agree. And I like also how like they didn't overdo it. Like they got a stripe, and sure the stripe goes down the arm sleeve. They got the red stripe on the inside, but it just I think they did these classy. I don't think they overdid them. But that's my thoughts. What do you guys think of the cheerleaders?
Go cheerleaders,
Mm-hmm.
except for the cowgirls.
Go
I have a
cheerleaders.
cheerleader. I have their cheerleader on my wall.
Is it a Cowboys cheerleader?
Yeah, is it a
It is
Cowboys cheerleader, Corey?
49ers.
You like the stars, the blue
Signed
stars, and the
picture
white?
of one of the girls.
I'm sorry, Corey.
Signed picture of a 49er cheerleader.
We're gonna have to clip that.
No, don't clip that.
We're gonna have to clip that. I'm sorry, Corey. Clip,
No.
clip, clip.
Well, we had a lot of fun. Definitely did. Let's go ahead and give our roundtable check. Tell everybody what we're doing for the rest of the day, and let's go ahead and get out of here and enjoy the rest of our Memorial Day weekend. Let's start with you, John. What do you got going on for the day?
I'm gonna go on Corey Davis live stream tonight. Please don't miss it. We're gonna find out if somebody else went 15-0 or 16, because with the bonus question. Tomorrow, because it's a holiday, I will be doing a stream. I'll figure out what I'll talk about, but I got a day off tomorrow, so I'll do something. But that's that's happening with me the next few days.
Cool. Mr. Corey Davis, would you like to give us an announcement on what you're doing for the day, what you got going on, where we can find you?
Well, I got today is my show with the results of the trivia. And we'll see.
What time is it at, sir?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. and we're going over
Okay.
the results from Thursday night show. If anybody doesn't know, Thursday nights Corey does a 49ers trivia show. You can stop in, give your answers as well, and be graded on them. And you can tune in on Sundays and hear how you did.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Corey, he takes the questions from the chat too, and he writes them down and keeps score. Everybody tries to help out with that, and it's a lot of fun.
Can you
And
see
if
that
you
picture
come and
right
you learn a
here?
question that didn't, yeah, that cheerleader right there.
That's a 49er cheerleader. She's a friend of my sister daughter, my niece. And she signed the picture for my birthday.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
What a sweetheart.
Ryan, what do you got going on?
So I got my NWO show tomorrow. Oh, not only will I be at Corey's show tonight, but I got my NW show tomorrow. I can't remember whose channel it's on. I don't remember if you guys might be joining or not. If it's on my channel, I think you guys will be joining. Then Tuesday, I got Niners and Friends with Beto and Mariah from 49er Faithfully podcast. Wednesday, I'll have the rivalry with Joe Stevens, and then Friday, the call-in show, the Friday night variety NFL variety show will be on my channel, and you see essentially everybody here. So tune in.
Awesome stuff, Mr. David McNiner. What do you got going on?
Well, I'll be on the Corey Davis Award Show tonight. I'll be on there with the lockdown Corey Davis, the GOAT. And then tomorrow night, I'll be on with Bryant, and we got a fantastic guest. The guy's name is Corey Davis. Can't wait for that one.
Real quick, shout out to Tommy Huxley. He's very true and accurate here. I've had my channel longer than anyone here, but never made any content, just concert videos. And if you're not subscribed to Tommy Huxley, please go and subscribe. The guy's the camel. He has 2 humps, and he was actually on the show, last Friday night, right? So, really cool. He called in, and it was a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, Tommy, we had a good time.
don't be afraid. If you never called in, call back in, and it goes to Steve-O, goes to Tommy, Bebop, everybody that's in the chat. Thank you for calling in, being part of the chat, or, even coming on video, like Nathan Z, all kinds of good guys out there. Jeff, we appreciate you guys. But again, appreciate you guys coming. There's channels for everybody here. Corey's got a channel, Lockdown Corey Davis, John J, 49ers Ultimate Report, Ryan, No Border Sports, he has a channel. David McNiner has a channel, and I have a channel. We appreciate you guys all coming. We collab a lot with each other. We go back and forth on different channels. Tonight we're going to be going on Corey's channel. We go over the results like everybody said. It's a lot of fun. And then tomorrow we are going to bring on the GOAT, the man, the myth, the legend. It will be an 8 o'clock show. We try to keep our shows at 5:15, but sometimes our guests need a little bit extra time. So tomorrow we'll bring Corey on. This will be a short show. It'll be a little bit under an hour, maybe an hour tops. We're going to interview him, ask him some good questions about the 49ers that we may not have been able to ask him here or there. So Corey, be prepared. We're going to be both coming with some questions that you might not have heard before, or you might have heard, and we'll just get you to elaborate and tell us a little bit about
when
yourself.
did you become a Dallas Cowboys fan?
Oh,
Okay, like I said,
What-
I always represent the red and gold.
What shirt you got underneath that? What shirt you got underneath that?
I got Trey Lance.
Okay, I'm just messing with you, Corey.
I will have to ask, like how long you've liked the Lakers, and who's your favorite Laker player.
No. I am not
But
a Lakers fan.
but we'll keep it all fun, Corey. And we'll go from there. Appreciate you guys coming on the Bryant Culp Show, featuring all my great guys here as well. Sunday's great. Monday's the guest show. Me and David, we do a show together. And Brian, let us know if you need me and David to come on the NWO show. We do have a guest lined up for next week's show for me and David, but we try to schedule like 2 weeks ahead of time. So if we got somebody who can't fill in, then we scramble. But we like to give our guests a little bit of time. And if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and say it. I like to say it on Monday's show, but we're just going to go ahead and pop the bubble now. Everybody drum beat in your head because I don't have sound effects. Tomorrow we have Corey Davis coming on, the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT himself. But on the following Monday, we have the lady, one of the greatest ladies out there. You might know her. I think you've known her. We've done a little bit of work in the past. Dina Harvey is coming on. So she's one of the ladies. She's great. She does trivia with us sometimes, but she does the weekly pick'ems with us like last year. So we were able to go through the season with her and pick, what game she thought was going to win. And she's got a lot of great insight on the 49ers and the rest of the league. So we're going to be interviewing her next Monday. And you guys definitely check in for that show. I think that one's going to be more like 5:15. I'll definitely double check the time. But there'll be notifications. And, of course, we appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for coming. Does anybody else, anything else they want to say before we jump out?
Don't forget the Ladies of the Empire
my dad
streaming
joke.
this week on Thursday, right?
Thank you, David. You're better than him. You remember a lot better than I did. My wife's going to be like looking at me. He didn't say nothing. So, yes, this Thursday, it's a show that comes out every 2 weeks. And she's got a panel. Tony Culp's got a panel of girls that come on, kind of like us guys. They all have channels as well. And it's just a couple girls in the panel. Dina Harvey will be there. Jess, Niners, East Coast Red and Gold. Bex, who's also on East Coast Red and Gold, will be there. Normally Peachy will be there. Crystal Brown, she won't be there this episode. Gina from Gina repping the Bay. She has a new channel name. It's Sports Live and Laugh. I think that's what it's called. But she's going to be coming on the show. She's a regular panel member, and Tony will be there, of course. and it's gonna be a great time. I believe the show will start at 5:15 California time, so if you guys can pop in, and they usually go for about an hour. They talk all kinds of different stuff about 49ers and give us their perspective. Lady panel, real quick, do the dad joke, and we'll get out of here. Love you guys. Really appreciate you coming in. All right. So why was Memorial Day barbecue so lively? Because the grill sergeant was in charge. All right, guys. Appreciate it. We'll get out of here. You guys have a great day. He might have had to go get a. I don't know. He might have found a better joke. I don't know. Again, these are dad jokes. They're not the best jokes. They're not the worst. They might make you giggle a little bit, and that's what we want. So, again, thanks for coming. Please hit the like button, subscribe. I'm at like 96 subs. We're going to do the coffee giveaway here soon. So if you're not subbed, or if you know somebody, or if your wife's not subbed, your girlfriend's not subbed or something, we're 4 away. So appreciate everybody. And again, make sure you sub to David, Corey, John Jay, and thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is a cup we made for David. And if you wanted like a personalized cup, that'd be great. But I have 3 cups that you'll be able to pick from. And Corey's got a cup down there as well, personalized cup. So again, please help the channel grow. It's a community. We have fun things going on all the time. And there's not going to be a dead period here. So we'll find something about football and 49ers to talk about. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to the chat. Thank you, guys. And with that, we're all out. 1, 2, 3. Go Niners.
Go Niners.
Niners.
Excellent.
Yep.